Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Spider-Man No Way Home's newest trailer gives us our best look yet at Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, the great Willem Dafoe joining the MCU, because you just can't keep this guy out.
Out, am I?
And despite other returning villains getting some MCU upgrades, when it comes to Goblin, No Way Home went back to formula! Except with one quick shot late in the trailer that appears to show Goblin unmasked. Now it's hard to make out his face, but many are asking, is this even the same Norman Osborn Green Goblin? Well, upon discovering some new clues in this trailer, I think this distinction between the apparent two goblins, one mask on, one mask off, will actually be crucial to the biggest twists of this movie and subvert the assumptions that many of us have about No Way Home. So the release footage so far presents at least 3 sequences that Norman Osborn will play a big role in. He attacks the bridge from his glider, fully suited up, cackling and tossing pumpkin grenades. He also appears during the nighttime Statue of Liberty battle, unmasked with razor bats, and we can assume this is the same night because there is a full moon, and the shot of Peter landing on the Statue of Liberty shows that same full moon. And then thirdly, although we don't see him, it seems like Goblin will play some important role in the attack on this building. And based on that truck parked out front, this is likely Feast, the homeless outreach organization where Aunt May and Peter work. And we saw Peter desperately running through the Feast cafeteria in his black suit in the first trailer, where he pulled off his mask and asked the staff where someone is, totally freaked out, as if someone was suddenly hitting him close to home. But now in this trailer in the Feast lobby, we see Peter lunging after a Green Goblin grenade. Another shot shows green fire exploding and burning on fuselage outside, and Aunt May can be seen emotionally running toward the door of this lobby, holding some metallic cylindrical object with some subtle green glow, perhaps a vial of Oscorp's serum. So I think it's safe to assume that the unmasked shot of Goblin on the glider at nighttime is definitely supposed to be Willem Dafoe. Like, I know his face looks younger, bit smoother, but there's clearly some motion blur going on here. They probably used VFX to animate him on that glider anyway, but still, the nose and chin are unmistakably those of Willem Dafoe. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible that this movie brings back other goblins from the Spider-Verse, like Harry Osborn Goblin James Franco or Harry Osborn Dane DeHaan. I just don't think they would reveal them here like this in this shot. And also, part of me believes that those goblin cameos might take away from Willem Dafoe's return, or just remind us how, in most fans' minds, they really paled in comparison to the GOAT.
You know how much I sacrificed?
So this movie really doesn't need them. Still, I find it interesting that Goblin is masked when he attacks the bridge, but then says screw it and goes maskless with only flight goggles in the battle in the final act. Every other new villain Spider-Man faces in this film, it's harder for them to hide their faces. Like Doc Ock and Electro have no masks. Lizard and Sandman are less subtle monstrous forms that you can tend to see coming a block away. But as we saw in Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man film, Norman Osborn actually parallels Peter Parker in that he tries to go about his life with a secret double identity. One of my favorite scenes in that movie was the Thanksgiving turkey carving, in which Norman first figures out that Peter Parker's Spider-Man from the cut on his arm, but Peter still doesn't know that Norman is Goblin, and Norman panics and rushes out. Actually, in that movie, even after his death, Norman's double life as Goblin remains a secret known only to Peter Parker, which was his dying wish to Peter.
Don't tell Harry.
Harry Osborn didn't learn the truth until the end of the second film. So secrecy and deceit is key to this version of Green Goblin. And I think that's gonna play a huge role in the second act of this film, how Norman becomes involved in Feast and why he totally stops caring about masking himself in the final act. There have been some rumors for No Way Home that speculate that Norman Osborn may pose as a homeless resident at the Feast Center, and that would explain Peter's frantic cafeteria sprint in the first trailer. Someone who he had seen every day is actually the same guy who's trying to kill him. And if you think back to Far From Home, that movie's opening act did spend a good amount of time focusing on the homeless outreach efforts by Peter and Aunt May and Happy Hogan, who brought in a huge check from Stark Industries signed by Pepper Potts. I think all that was gonna set up some tragic irony of this movie if all of those efforts end up just getting exploited by Norman Osborn as a way to get close to Peter and to his loved ones. So that shot of Aunt May running through the lobby with the green object, you can see some red and blue blue lights flashing on the walls, suggesting police and media have already arrived on the scene, and this might be some kind of hostage situation where Sandman and Electro are fighting to keep all the police and media busy in front of the building while something else is happening inside the shelter. Aunt May could be a hostage rushing out of the building with some kind of deadly object, like a vial of nerve gas, to try to get it away from all the others. And a special thanks to Exter, the world's largest smart wallet brand, for sponsoring this video. They designed the smartest wallets in the world, which you can track with their solar-powered tracker worldwide. This is the tracker. It's solar-powered, it's discreet, it's light, and you can just slip it in your wallet. And then if you ever have trouble finding your wallet, your tracker is here to help you find it instantly. It's voice-activated and solar-powered. 2 hours of sunshine give it a 3-month charge. So all you gotta do is download the Chipolo app on your phone, and then you can ring your wallet from your phone or your phone from your wallet. It works with Google Home, Alexa, and Siri. So, whoop-oh. Siri, where's my wallet? I hear it! I found it! And Exter's slim profile wallets, of which this is one, they're awesome. They're made of premium leather, they have RFID protection, and you can use this little button to instantly fan out your cards. So no more overstuffed wallets, no more giant lumps in your back pocket. Check out Exter wallets with the link below and earn an additional discount with our code at shop.exter.com/new rockstars. That's code rockstars to maximize your savings at shop.exter.com/new rockstars. Now, brace yourselves because many believe that Aunt May might die in this film, and it's a very alarming possibility, especially since she appears in this feast lobby where Peter's now lunging for the pumpkin grenade as it explodes. However, we might be able to relax because in this shot and another shot, Peter's face already looks bruised and ashy, frazzled hair, as if this is after some explosion happened. And then patting his chest when he's also in that post-explosion look is a woman who is wearing rings, whose hand and hair also look like they were in the vicinity of an explosion. And in the shot of May running, she wears these same rings. So I think it's safe to say that Aunt May survives some explosion at least. And when Peter jumps for the grenade, there's already some rubble on the ground, and outside behind him on the building, that overhang has already collapsed. So let's try to put this all in order. There's a shot of a green explosion. Looks like it's a car bomb or some car getting bombed, and this happens first in front of the building. Based on the surrounding debris, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be an NYPD patrol car because in the wide shot, the other DODC backup has not yet arrived. So, NYPD car bombed, that explosion collapses the overhang, the rubble fills the lobby that Aunt May was running through. That could have been the explosion she survives, but then this already damaged building gets hit again with a second wave of a pumpkin grenade that Peter now lunges for. So really the question is this specific shot of Aunt May with her hand on Peter's chest before that second pumpkin grenade gets tossed in, making her still at risk? Or is it after, meaning she could have survived it? I'm also pretty worried about Happy Hogan because we've only seen one shot of him in both trailers, sitting in a car as DODC SWAT laser scopes past him and approach that bombed out lobby. It makes it look like he's pretty terrified that May might be dead in this moment. But who knows? He could also be the target of the car bomb. I will say, when I first saw that green fireball, it does look like the shape of a person in the center of the fire. I don't know, I think it'd be pretty insane for this movie to go that freaking violent. Now yes, you may remember that Green Goblin also bombed Aunt May's home in the first Raimi film.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
Finish it! Finish it!
Remember that? It was terrifying. But we should note, Goblin did not kill Aunt May in that movie. I mean, who knows? He may not have cared either way if he killed her, but at the end of the day, the movie did not bury Aunt May. So for Goblin to now bomb a homeless center means that this guy has turned irredeemably homicidal and cruel. I think far more than the other villains, this guy is in the movie to test Peter Parker. We actually hear Willem Dafoe's voice croaking,
Peter, you're struggling to have everything you want while the world tries to make you choose.
almost like he is rasping these words as Peter has his hands around his throat, which Peter could only do if Goblin's helmet was off, at which point Goblin wouldn't care because showing his face to Peter is part of his sick game.
That's right. I'm the guy you handed a plate of food to. And now, misery, misery, misery.
Sounds like Goblin is forcing Peter to choose. Kill me and become the killer they say you are, or give up trying to save anyone at all. This is why I think it's gonna be so important to have older Peter Parker mentors to help Peter make the right choice. Support New Rockstars by checking out our merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me at Erik Voss, follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis and breakdowns of everything Spider-Man. Thanks for watching and
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Oh.